Justice and peace to each and every one of you. This is your servant of a man cop, the world's top cop with news uncut. Now I'm going to get right to it. In Chicago, Robert Crimo, 22 years old, who committed this mass shooting, killed 6 people, injuring many from a high-powered weapon, left that location. A manhunt was pursued after him. A North Chicago officer observed him in the vehicle. He initiated a traffic stop. Crimo did not stop, so a chase pursued. When Crimo stopped that vehicle, you're going to see a mass amount of officers surrounding Crimo, and they arrested him without incident. Now, as opposed to what happened in Akron, Ohio, police officers was on a traffic stop with Jayland Walker. Jayland Walker ran on foot from that vehicle, and a massive amount of police officers, just as in Chicago. The difference between the two, I'm going to show you so that you can have an understanding of the mindset of some police officers and their tactics and how they conduct themselves and the way that they should, because I know what I'm talking about as your world's top cop. Now, these officers in the Jayland Walker incident, they stated he shot after them, or a shot came from Jayland Walker. Jayland Walker ran on foot without a weapon, but yet they said he shot out of that vehicle, but yet pursued after him on foot and tragically killed this man, as opposed to a mass killer in Chicago with an AK-47 and other weapons that they initiated a traffic stop, did not charge that vehicle, but conducted themselves. One person spoke and one person gave the commands for that man to come out of that vehicle. They took their time, as police officers should do, but the difference between what happened with Crimo as opposed to Walker is because of one thing only. The intentions were different. The mindset was different. The police officer's visual attitude and procedures was different. And the level of aggression was different. And the two difference between Crimo and Jayland, we have Crimo, a mass terrorist, and Walker, no one knew of until that moment, who he is now dead, not breathing, not alive, to have his day in court, because these police officers did not conduct themselves the way they should have, as the police officers in Chicago conducted themselves as it relate to Crimo. Now let's show what is going on and what we can see. This is the traffic stop of Crimo. He's in that vehicle. They're giving him commands to get out of that vehicle. You see the mass amount of units behind Crimo's vehicle. Guns are drawn. They're speaking to him. We have the red truck in front of him. That tactic is different and dangerous, but that's a whole nother subject for right now. You got the officer, he's coming out, but notice no one is rushing that vehicle. No one knows if that suspect, terrorist suspect, has a weapon in that vehicle. It doesn't matter. You assume he does. And do you see anyone, because of that, being fearful enough to go after Crimo with their weapons drawn, with all of that police presence? Do you see anybody running towards that vehicle, yelling and screaming? And do you see any guns being targeted towards him with guns being fired? It's strategic. It's professional. It is in a way to make sure that this terrorist suspect who just killed 6 people is going to be captured safely, correctly, as a criminal should be in any situation, regardless of the crime that he or she commits. You have just seen what policing is supposed to be about anywhere in this country we call America. Do you see any bullet shells? Do you see anyone punching Crimo, who just massacred people in Highland Park of Chicago? Do you see Crimo shot, beaten? No, you do not. And why is that? You be the judge of that. Police officers, chief of police officers, sheriff departments, law enforcement officers, this is you, your fellow brethren and your fellow sisters with the badge and uniform did what they were supposed to do as police officers, as opposed to what we see over and over, what goes on with other criminals or suspected criminals who have a different color to their skin, and it's not white. And this needs to stop. Crimo is alive to see his day in court and is arrested correctly. Jayland was shot up 60 times, gunfire over 90 times. He was arrested, dead. But he won't have his day in court. You have seen, ladies and gentlemen, the two differences between two individuals, one suspect, a mass killer, the other is supposed to be one who was on a traffic stop without a weapon, killed, and the other one survived. Now you be the judge, and it is up to us to take the necessary action to prepare ourselves, to remove ourselves from every and anything that is not of justice to what is justice.